All right, let's talk about something we have all felt. You know that knot that forms in your stomach when you see a stock just taking off like a rocket and you're not on it? That, my friends, is FOMO, the fear of missing out. And honestly, it's probably the single biggest threat to your success as a trader. In this explainer, we're not just going to define it, we're going to give you the tools to actually conquer it.
Come on, you've been there, right? You're scrolling through your phone, you see some chart going absolutely vertical, and you feel this almost physical pull to jump in. You're terrified you're about to miss the rocket ship to the moon. That intense, gut-wrenching pressure, that is exactly what we're digging into today.
And let's get one thing straight right off the bat. This feeling is not some personal flaw. It's not you being weak. It is a universal challenge that every single trader faces. We're going to break down what's called the FOMO trap because, the first step to avoiding any trap is knowing it's there in the first place.
Okay, so what is this thing really? At its core, FOMO is a purely emotional reaction. It has nothing, I mean nothing, to do with your analysis or your trading plan. It's all driven by the perception that everybody else is getting rich and you're being left behind. Just understanding that distinction, that it's about feeling, not facts, that's the key to taking away its power. So, to fight this thing, we've got to understand where it comes from. What's really fueling this fear? Well, as we're about to see, the triggers come from two places, from inside our own heads and from the world all around us. Let's start with what's going on inside. A lot of times, it kicks off with a scarcity mindset, that little voice in your head whispering, "This is it. If you miss this one, there won't be another." Then you combine that with a lack of patience, and you add in this constant fire hose of get-rich-quick stories, and boom, you've just created the perfect storm for making impulsive, fear-based decisions.
And if all those internal drivers are the fuel for the fire, then social media, well, that's the gasoline being poured all over it. In this hyper-connected world we live in, these platforms are literally designed to show you what you're missing out on. They've become incredibly powerful FOMO amplifiers.
And this slide really gets to the heart of the problem. It's the massive gap between what we see and what's real. On the left, you've got this social media fantasy. It's all epic wins and huge profits, right? The highlight reel. But on the right, you have the actual reality of trading, the grind, the hard work, and yes, the losses that are an inevitable part of the game. That disconnect creates this impossible pressure to be perfect, and that is a direct path to making emotional mistakes. Okay, so enough about the problem. How do we actually escape this trap? The antidote to fear is discipline. So we're going to shift gears now from the problem to the solution. And it all starts with a completely new way of thinking about something we all hate: losing a trade. Now, this is a huge mindset shift. We are conditioned to be terrified of losses. But what if they're not just setbacks? What if your losses are actually your greatest teachers? Think about it. A win kind of just confirms what you already knew. But a loss? Oh man, a loss, if you review it the right way, gives you a priceless roadmap for how to get better.
And here's the playbook for how to do it. The key here is that this is not about beating yourself up. It's the exact opposite. It's about becoming a calm, cool detective on your own case. After a loss, you step back and you just ask simple questions. Did I follow my plan? Did I stick to my rules? You're not judging the outcome. You are auditing your process. That's how you find exactly where you can improve for next time. At the end of the day, the solution is pretty simple, even if it isn't always easy. It's about tuning out all that noise. You have to stay in your own lane. You have to stop comparing your messy, real-world trading journey to someone else's perfectly curated highlight reel. True, long-lasting success is found by focusing only on your own path and your own progress.
This brings us to the final, and I think the most empowering piece of this entire puzzle. We're talking about building the ultimate weapon against FOMO, and that weapon is total self-reliance. Now hold on, being self-reliant doesn't mean trading in a cave all by yourself. Talking with other traders can be super valuable. But, and this is a huge but, look at the difference here. It's about using those conversations to sharpen your own thinking, not just to borrow someone else's. The second another person's opinion becomes your reason for entering a trade, you've given up your edge. You've lost. And here it is, the fundamental rule that ties everything together. Your edge in the market, it doesn't come from some secret tip or some guru you follow online. No way. It comes from the hard work you put in, from the strategy you've developed, and from your trust in your own analysis. That is what will protect you from fear and lead to consistent results.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one single powerful question. And I want you to be totally honest with yourself. Look back at your last few trades. Were they born from discipline in your own analysis? Or were they just a reaction, driven by that fear of missing out? The answer to that question might just change your entire trading career.